the me that is Patricia doesn't know what that experience is. Because I'm not there when the oneness meditation is being given. It's being given through the me that is Patricia. And so I can't really tell you what I'm experiencing. I can tell you feelings that my body has, which is, it's very hot. And I feel my body moving, but I'm not moving it. And I know that there's laughter, but I'm not laughing, and if I were laughing, I wouldn't have a clue what I was laughing about. The same as the tears. There's tears, sometimes there's crying, but it's not crying about anything. It's the Divine's energy is just expressing as that, as tears or as laughter. The body looks and the eyes look, and then something expresses. It's a connection that the Divine that's moving through me is having with the Divine in each one of you, and then also as this group, this amazing field of grace energy. So it's both individual connection, and then it's all connecting. Does that answer? Anyone else?
That was a beautiful answer. Do you want to just say it, Shoshana?
Yes. This might be very personal, but I was...
It's okay. I'm going to repeat it.
Oh, okay.
But I was just wondering if you could share a little bit about your journey of coming into being an OM facilitator, how that came about.
She would love to know about your journey coming into being a oneness meditator, facilitator.
I prayed really hard to be a oneness meditator. I am a unity minister, and I was guided back in the end of 2010, before I made a journey to Oneness University, to the deepening. I was being guided that it was time for me to release my Unity Church in Berkeley. I had this inner feeling that I was really being called to be with many more people than a church of 80 to 100 people every Sunday. And so I told my church, and this was very dear to me, I pioneered this church. I started it. There was no Unity in Berkeley in 2000. And so it was like somehow releasing a baby of mine without knowing what else was there. But I went to the deepening in India in January in 2011, and it was a most profound experience. I think I spent a lot of the time literally on the floor and had major experiences with the energy of the Kundalini, which many of you have had, and I know you were doing the Chakra Dhyana earlier, raising the Kundalini energy. When I came back from Oneness University, I was a trainer already, had been a trainer for a year, and came back, and I no longer had my church, but I got this message from Sri Bhagwan when I came back home that I was supposed to start an global internet radio program, and I was supposed to spread the oneness message all over the world by interviewing people who were Oneness trainers and Oneness blessing givers, and then during the show, we would give an intentional Oneness blessing twice. So that's what I did. I started the Oneness program, and I learned how to do internet radio and started really creating kind of a global ministry in that way over the internet. And then in February, I guess it was, of this year, the Oneness meditation was revealed to us. And Doug G., who is the wonderful guide for us here in the United States and in Canada, told all of us who were trainers that if we felt that we were guided to become a Oneness meditator, that we should pray to Anna and Bhagwan. And so I did that every day, morning and night. It was my prayer. And the Divine blessed me on the solstice. I got the email from Doug saying that I had been selected. And it's just been such an extraordinary experience to have an initiation which occurred in India. They were in India. I was in Kentfield in my temple room on a webcam, and I was initiated as a Oneness meditator. And it's one of those things, it's kind of like, is this really going to work? It's kind of like, if those of you who are Diksha givers, how many people here are Oneness blessing givers? You know that first experience, you get initiated and you kind of wonder, is this really going to work? I mean, it's just me. I'm just like me, you know. I'm a mom, you know. But then you give someone a blessing and their eyes light up, and, you know, this was the same thing. It's like, wow, this is incredible. And the thing that I know is that all of us are going into these states, these higher states. And the beautiful thing about the awakening that Oneness University is bringing to the planet right now is that it's what they call householder awakening. That's an Indian term. But what it means is that we can live our normal life. You know, I drive a car. My partner Roy is back there. He can tell you I'm a little spacey sometimes. But I can't just blame that on the Oneness meditator. I think that sort of came that way out of the box. But the beautiful thing is that we can be in these really, really high states, and they lift everything else about our experience up. And that's been really a big part of the journey as a Oneness meditator, because it's really about seeing the divine. It's looking through the eyes of the divine. And life is just so extraordinarily beautiful when that's the view that we have. And the divine's looking back at us. And that's probably why I laugh all the time, because it's just so filled with joy and delight. Did I answer your question? Maybe more than you wanted, but so pray for what you want. It works. Yeah.
We're going to have probably yours and mine, and then we're done. I don't remember mine. Okay.
Never mind. Nobody's there.
So my question is similar to what you were just sharing. I have been creating a healing center since 1994, and I felt guided to do that, and it feels like I'm being kind of booted out of it, or that I'm being given a choice. What I really desire is to choose the highest in terms of service that would be for more and more people. At the same time, having a living, which I do not, and keeping the energy at all levels of my being, including physical, in top shape, without burning out. So, is that
So what's your question?
So my question is, do you have from Grace any words that might assist me in that decision making? I'm not a Diksha giver, and I'd like to be. And I'd like to go to India.
Oh, good.
Do that and do that. That was pretty easy. You already knew the answer. really to receive the oneness blessing as often as you're able to, and to use the technology now of the oneness meditations that are available online, which is just extraordinary, from all over the world, if those of you are not aware of that. I'll let you be the bringer of all that information. But it's very powerful, and you receive it just right in front of your computer. So that is really pouring the grace upon all of us right now. And as far as making those decisions, you know, for me, I always feel like I keep asking until I just get it. It kind of goes, and I know. And even when I try to sneak back to the old one, which might have been the one that the world would say, of course you should be doing that now, because that's your stability, that's your, you know, whatever. The other one's just already in the body somehow. It's like the divine's already brought it to us at some level. And when we're ready, we'll make the decision that it's the right thing. You know, we know. You know. But go be a Diksha giver and go to India. I mean, the experience is just extraordinary. And once you become a blessing giver now, you are able to go and either go to the deepening process for 4 weeks, or I guess you can go for 2 weeks as well, or you can become a trainer, which is another beautiful kind of service that you can give. So yay seva.
I still don't remember. Oh, come on, we have time for one more. It's not about the mind. I'm telling you, the mind will not do it. What is this, Candace?
So how does, when you go into these states, as sitting in front of us, you're obviously in just a state of absolute connection and bliss and awareness. And how does that affect the rest of your life when you do go out to drive your car? And does it come and go in your life?
She's asking if when you're in these really extraordinary states, the really high state, how does it work to drive your car? And
I don't drive my car.
Do you go in? Do you go in and out of it, or like? I think the question is, how do you function in your daily life?
He's laughing. I think I'm pretty functional, Roy. And I would not drive my car now. No, they drive me when I come to an event and when I leave. But otherwise, I'm on my computer. I walk, I talk. I'm pretty functional. This, doing a live event is an extraordinary experience because the state is really accelerated with the energies of all of you. And I must say, when I do one in my home temple room and I look into the webcam, I'm always amazed because the state comes up as well. But being here with you is very intense, especially doing 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. So I definitely would not be driving.
Thank you.
I got it, it came back. What do you see when you're in that state and you're looking out? Can you describe what you see? Or
I just see these beautiful faces. And I see your eyes and I see your faces. I just see your beautiful faces. It's just, and it's not me seeing it, it's the divine seeing it. I'm looking, and some, like in the back, I can't see your eyeballs back there, but I know they're there, so I'm just, just the energy is just pushing out to say hello to you. So it's not, like, it's hard to explain because it's not me. See, that's not me.
How can it not be you?
I don't know.
It's always the divine.
They're seen but no seer.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
could you just feel there? I just kind of went in differently than if I'm looking at you here. But there's like a kind of a presence. Why would I ever leave this? Gotta do. Does that help?
It does, thank you.
Don't be afraid of this at all. That's why it's such a beautiful thing that Amma and Bhagwan have created. That we're not going to just be like loopy-doopy people. We might be airy-fairy though.
It's a new cosmic term in that regard. Lauren.
So if you say the divine is seeing us, and the divine gives love, what does that really mean? Is the divine answering our questions, or seeing something in us, or responding to something in us, or I'm not quite sure. I know I feel it, but I don't know that I can say it.
So she's saying
Like,
that
Patricia,
divine is
there.
love,
And the divine's looking at us.
and divine is looking at us.
What does the divine see?
So
I
what
mean,
does, yeah.
Is
what
the
does
divine answering my prayer, or seeing into my heart, or seeing my worst part, or my best part, or seeing
What is
my
the divine
faults
seeing?
and my...
I don't have any information on that. I have not been given that information.
What?
I can't tell you. What's pouring is divine love. It's just pouring. And everyone gets to have their own experience of that. So some people will have an experience of tears because that love opens something in the heart. And I know that from my own experience of sitting and receiving the Oneness meditations for months and months. And other people will just feel laughter. Other people will just be in a really deep place of stillness. So the divine is giving it to you in the perfect way that the grace wants to flow just for you. And I have no information on that.
So it's true the divine actually knows me, like me individually?
The divine is informing you for what
He
you
knows you.
need. Like what you get, it's not coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why it's so important for us to really develop a personal relationship, whether it's connecting to Jesus, whether it's connecting to the divine that you experience when you're out in nature, whether it's connecting to Amma and Bhagwan, or if you have some teacher, but to really create that personal relationship so that you can really feel and you can hear and you can know what's being spoken to you, what guidance is coming to you. You just develop that relationship. It's really an important thing. It's why before we offer the Oneness meditation, which is it's specifically designed to liberate you from the mind, which is why there are not a lot of questions. I mean, you're kind of curious about what's going on in my head, but your heads are probably pretty calm right now. But the reason that we prepare you with the connection with the divine is so that you'll be even more open to receive that grace when it comes. Does that help?
Yeah, she's got thumbs up. So just what is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone tonight? And we're going to close.
There's a
I
waiting
just had
room.
one quick thing.
Here.
Sorry. I met Shana and did the Diksha initiation with Shana at the same time I met a Vedanta teacher. And so I know, because everybody's path is unique, that I know that at this point in time I don't need to go to India. There might be a point when I do. But what I got from my Vedanta teacher, which dovetails with everything that in the teachings, for me at least, from the Oneness University, is that the only problem is my ignorance of myself as the divine. So every time I do a meditation, I'm not even thinking that the person here is outside of me. You know, I'm not thinking of it as something I'm receiving. It's something from within me, you know, from my divine, that this is just what, like a mirror, if you will. And so every time I just surrender my ignorance to the, you know, the lap of the divine. And then I like to play with words. Ignorance for me is where I ignored the fact that I was divine, and then I ignored the fact that others were divine. And so that's just how it works for me, but I know everybody has their unique spin on it.
So do you have a question for that?
No, I just wanted to get that out there.
Maybe you have a response for that? Comment or something?
I love that you have your own path. That's, to me, the most extraordinary thing about the Oneness blessing, and certainly now this Oneness meditation. And that we can come from many, many different places on our journey. And even people who don't really have a deep spiritual path find this, they find something in this experience that connects them more deeply with the divine within them. And I think if I only had one thing to say, it would be, tell your friends and family about this. I think that one of the things that we've discovered, and as a trainer, I'm in the Bay Area, oftentimes we have events and it's the same people who come. And we know that they all have friends, and their friends would love to have these kinds of shifts and changes in experience. So I just invite you to let your friends and family, people that you really care about, know about this powerful grace that's happening right now. They don't have to go to India. They don't have to believe in any particular philosophy. It's really coming through without any dogma, without any teachings in the Oneness meditation. So that would be my exhortation to you. Next time I come to Ashland, I'd hope you'd each have a friend on either side of you and be sharing this with more people, because we're looking to really shift energetically and awaken 70,000 people this year. We're already on a path, 40,000. I think the U.S. is a little more challenging than some of the other countries. We tend to be very mental.
You think?
Fundamental. Thank you all.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, for coming all the way up here and blessing us with grace. So beautiful. Thank you. And thank you to all the Diksha givers for putting this on. You guys, I love you. You're amazing. We couldn't do anything without the whole team doing it together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's give each other a hand. Woo-hoo!